Welcome to episode 5 of our mini-series on team building. Now, there is no simple answer to repairing a broken team, and in this episode, I talk about trust and how it is essential to every team's longevity.
How do you repair a broken team?
Oh, glue, sellotape. I think first and foremost, we have to understand, what do we mean by broken? What's broken, right? I think usually it is trust that's broken in a team. Think about the time when you've left an organization or a team has fallen apart, someone's been fired. It's because trust has been lost, because the actions that they've taken, the things that they've done, have shown them to be somebody different to who you thought they were, or somebody in which you don't want to be in your organization. I stood in the playground recently and spoke to a father of one of the children in my son's class, and he said, just left an organization that I've been with for 8 years, and I'm the next person to leave because of that asshole. He said, that guy who just nobody trusts. He was just like a toddler, the way he acted, the way he would blow up. And for me, that is like, behaviors are one thing, but the behaviors people can tolerate to some degree if you've got built up trust and relationship with someone, because we can attribute them to being out of characteristic. But this guy had become that type of behavior had become almost a form of integrity, but ultimately underpinning that was a loss of trust in the individual. So how do you fix that? You've got to look at why it's broken and understand what are the process you need to go through. And usually that's going to mean a change of personnel, particularly if something needs to happen relatively quickly, because it can be if you've got a group of individuals, rebuilding trust with a group of individuals can be very difficult. And it requires that those group of individuals want to do it. And usually in the corporate world, in a professional world, we don't really feel a need to stick around that much. But say you're in an organization, like a purpose-driven business where maybe you're doing charity work, or everybody's locked in for some other reason that supersedes the individual need, and everybody wants to commit to it, then I would say get a fantastic coach, get somebody who's able to hold open the space so that a conversation can take place that is candid and open, and that they can start to reestablish a dialogue which is based in trust. And then, I'm going to use one word, everybody needs to have courage. Courage to take action, courage to turn up, courage to share their thoughts and feelings, and be humble enough to accept when they've done something wrong, be resilient enough to put those pains aside and get on with the job.
I like that one. It kind of reminds me of the Sheila Heen difficult conversations one, where she was saying that at times it's when people interpret the other person's intentions as something negatively. So it's that loss of trust that their intentions are good towards them. And because they sort of put this meaning on top of that, where it's like, oh, well, you intended to hurt me, or you intended to sabotage my career, or whatever. And it's that loss of trust that actually maybe they weren't intending that at all.
Yeah. Have you heard of this principle that sort of speaks to that? It's that we often misattribute malice or misintent to a situation when generally it could just be incompetence of the individual, And I think this most people will know this plays out in the playground, or in the school gate. It's like, that parent didn't do that thing I thought they were going to do, or they sent that message in the WhatsApp group, and that's a really wanky thing to do.
Yeah.
I think they're a horrible person, and they're obviously meant to make me feel that way.
Yeah.
When actually they were probably just in a rush, maybe aren't very good in a text format. And so the malice that we infer from the action is actually just a bit of incompetence or neglect of attention in the moment. So Hanlon's razor, I think is a great model to consider these things by.